Divine reading for 1 Chronicles chapter 4 to 6 is taken from 1 Chronicles 5:18 to 26. Let us read the passage carefully and notice how the Reubenites, Gadites, and half tribe of Manasseh trusted God in battle, but later turned away from Him, leading to their defeat and exile. English Standard Version. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh had valiant men who carried shield and sword and drew the bow, expert in war, 44,760, able to go to war. They waged war against the Hagarites, Jetur, Nephish, and Nodab. And when they prevailed over them, the Hagarites and all who were with them were given into their hands. For they cried out to God in the battle, and He granted their urgent plea because they trusted in Him. They carried off their livestock, 50,000 of their camels, 250,000 sheep, 2,000 donkeys, and 1,00,000 men alive. For many fell because the war was of God, and they lived in their place until the exile. The members of the half tribe of Manasseh lived in the land. They were very numerous, from Bashan to Baal Hermon, Senir, and Mount Hermon. These were the heads of their fathers' houses: Epher, Ishai, Eliel, Azariel, Jeremiah, Hodviah, and Jehdiel. Mighty warriors, famous men, heads of their fathers' houses. But they broke faith with the God of their fathers and warred after the gods of the peoples of the land whom God had destroyed before them. So the God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, the spirit of Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and he took them into exile, namely the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, and brought them to Hala, Hebor, Hera, and the river goes on to this day. New International Version. The Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh had 44,760 men ready for military service, able-bodied men who could handle shield and sword, could use a bow, and who were trained for battle. They waged war against the Hagarites, Jetur, Nephish, and Nodab. They were helped in fighting them, and God delivered the Hagarites and all their allies into their hands because they cried out to Him during the battle. He answered their prayers because they trusted in Him. They seized the livestock of the Hagarites, 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep, and 2,000 donkeys. They also took 100,000 people captive, and many others fell slain because the battle was God's. And they occupied the land until the exile. The people of the half tribe of Manasseh were numerous. They settled in the land from Bashan to Baal Hermon, that is, to Senir, Mount Hermon. These were the heads of their families: Epher, Ishai, Eliel, Azariel, Jeremiah, Hodviah, and Jehdiel. They were brave warriors, famous men, and heads of their families. But they were unfaithful to the God of their ancestors and prostituted themselves to the gods of the peoples of the land whom God had destroyed before them. So the God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, that is, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, who took the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh into exile. He took them to Hala, Hebor, Hera, and the river of Gozan, where they are to this day. From Message Version. The families of Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh had 44,760 men trained for war, physically fit and skilled in handling shield, sword, and bow. They fought against the Hagrites, Jetur, Nephish, and Nodab. God helped them as they fought. God handed the Hagrites and all their allies over to them because they cried out to him during the battle. God answered their prayers because they trusted him. They plundered the Hagrite herds and flocks, 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep, and 2,000 donkeys. They also captured 1,00,000 people. Many were killed because the battle was God's. They lived in that country until the exile. The half tribe of Manasseh had a large population. They occupied the land from Bashan to Baal Hermon, that is, to Senir, Mount Hermon. The heads of their families were Ephir, Ishai, Eliel, Azariel, Jeremiah, Hodaviah, and Jehediel, brave warriors, famous and heads of their families. But they were not faithful to the God of their ancestors. They took up with the ungodly gods of the peoples of the land whom God had gotten rid of before they arrived. So the God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, to take the families of Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh into exile. He deported them to Hala, Hebor, Hara, and the river of Gozan. They have been there ever since. Let us reflect on the contrast between God's help when they sought Him and the consequences when they were unfaithful. What does this reveal about our own dependence on God? Let us pray honestly and confess areas of drifting or self-reliance in our own lives, asking God for a heart that seeks Him wholeheartedly, especially in times of decision or conflict. Let us rest in God's presence, letting His faithfulness sink in and be still, knowing He responds to those who trust in Him with sincerity. Victory and blessing come not from strength or numbers, but from wholehearted trust in God. Like the tribes, we may experience God's help when we seek Him in truth. But if we turn to idols of comfort, success, or self-reliance, we risk spiritual defeat. Our call is to remain faithful, prayerful, and reliant on God alone.